At this pivotal moment, Jo quickly decides to dash to the hospital to care for her injured dad, and to gather the fare, she surprisingly sold off her luscious locks. In front of everyone, she pretends to be optimistic while secretly sighing. When alone, she mourns the loss of her long hair, especially in the days without their mother. It hits even harder. The sisters are all busy as bees, yet kind-hearted Beth keeps her mother's advice close to her heart. Not only is she caring for her sisters, she even sends a scarf to old Lee's grandfather and preps food for a wandering mother and child nearby. But poor Beth catches scarlet fever because of all this, and falls ill. It's just one thing after another. To keep everyone safe, the youngest, Amy, is shipped off to her aunt's house. What a twist in this family thriller. At this point, Beth starts to recover with her family caring for her, and the atmosphere is finally filled with joy. After this whirlwind, the sisters grow up fast. Meg abandons her dream of marrying into wealth. Jo doubles down on her beliefs, determined to carve out a path with her brain. She is a true fighter. After being sent to her aunt's, Amy cools down her sassy attitude, plotting her future like a pro. Those undeterred by challenges always find clarity in thought, emerging even stronger. This year, Meg and poor boy John are set to tie the knot, and you can just feel Jo's nervous breakdown. Imagining a future without Meg, Jo's heart is just jumping all over the place. On the day of their wedding, Auntie wears a worried expression on her face. She has always held the belief that love without financial support is merely a transient wave that quickly fades away. Meg, unfazed, chases love down the aisle. Oh boy, must be ready to survive on breadcrumbs afterward. Years later, their lives are still a mess. Meg spends her husband's winter coat money on fancy yet useless fabric. She knows she has done wrong, yet all that toil and poverty and inner turmoil hits her hard. But fortunately, her husband has always been tolerant, willing to enjoy the cold just to craft her a gorgeous new dress. What a wonderful husband. At this moment, Meg reflects on herself amidst love and acceptance, casting off her troublesome vanity. Their life might not shine like others, but their bond grows stronger. Watching others find love, old Lee's heart starts to spark. It's just too touching. He gazes at Jo with a mix of emotions, wanting to do something, but it just won't come out. Subtitles. Jo has been a forward-thinking individual since childhood, an unwavering advocate of singlehood, and regards becoming a writer as her ultimate aspiration. She rejects love and marriage like Theobald Sushi, believing the meaning of life is solely on the path to dreams. In the end, old Lee walks away disappointed, and Jo, viewing his lonely back, is left in a daze. She's not sure whether holding on to this freedom is right or wrong. The cycle of love and longing continues. In her mind, a woman's charm and wisdom must coexist, so she buries her feelings deep inside. To chase her dreams, she heads to the city solo, almost straying from her writing ambition. Nonetheless, she never gives up, pushing through the cracks between dreams and reality. Living at her aunt's for a long time, Amy is influenced to marry a rich guy, imagining her life like it's some fairy tale. Years pass, and with her aunt's matchmaking, Amy gets engaged to a wealthy noble with her family. Yet, on the eve of her wedding, she bumps into old Lee, twirling through Europe. Talk about timing. Old Lee seems to have shaken off Jo's rejection, heavily intoxicated, lost in his thoughts. When old Lee suffered most, Amy comforted him, yet feelings blossomed unknowingly. Oh no, old Lee still just can't get over Jo and is never taken off that ring. It's really heart-wrenching. I will always love Jo, old Lee thinks resolutely. I am no longer the one you decide for. Seems you can't have her, and I refuse to be bound. But I will always love you. Poor Beth battles with sickness, making heartache. She's stuck home resting. Time flows like a river, but her body sadly declines, raising alarms. Upon hearing about her sister's severe illness, Jo drops everything to come home, finding Meg exhausted by Beth's side. Days of toil left her drained, but she stubbornly refuses to leave. Reluctantly, Jill and Meg synchronize to share the burden of caring for Beth, sisterly teamwork. Unfortunately, this time Beth couldn't fend off the Grim Reaper. She leaves the family forever. Jo once regarded the pursuit of freedom as life's ultimate meaning, but now she feels increasingly lost. The truth is, Jo questions her past choices, feeling as if they've become a painful wound in her heart. Her mother urges her to follow her heart. Jo gathers her courage to pen a love letter. With a racing heart, she anticipates old Lee's return. When she opens her eyes, there he is. Old Lee shares the news of his engagement to Amy, and Jo feels like she's been hit by lightning. She tries to say something, but the words drown in grief, leaving her speechless.